I know. It was time for another alien encounter video, wasn't it? We was overdue. Here we go. Let's get to it. This guy filled the reptilian alien. What happened next is shocking.
With all the lights and it was spinning and then just...
My gosh, they're all going against the wind.
In 2004, was doing some really strange things. I mean, just crazy things.
We think an alien invasion is coming, but what if it already did? Maybe the streets we walk are filled by hundreds of aliens, all donning disguises to blend in. Some of them have even started to slip up. Here are moments when extraterrestrial creatures become a little too confident for comfort.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human.
Mark Zuckerberg, a name we all know because of Facebook, but trending for all the weird reasons. Zuckerberg has repeatedly been noticed acting weirdly, moving in bizarre ways, mumbling even creepier words, so much so that people are genuinely starting to question his identity.
Mark, are the allegations true that you are secretly a lizard? I'm gonna have to go with no on that. I am not a lizard.
They believe he's actually a reptilian creature hiding behind the mask of a human. These aren't baseless assumptions. Here is some proof. On numerous occasions, Zuckerberg was spotted behaving erratically, as if he was still trying to learn the ways of us humans. Then, he slipped up during a TED Talk.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still.
He tried to counter the accusations.
But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
But don't convince me that's how a normal person talks. You and I both know.
And that's all it takes for people to run with that, bro. One little small slip up like that, especially when they already suspecting you, thinking that. And a lot of times people do that to people that are extremely successful. They like, no, it's got to be something with this person. Why is this person just so successful? It got to be from another planet. It got to be something else. And then you slip up and say something like that. Oh, it's no going back. It's no turning back after that.
No, Zuckerberg's acting really weirdly. The lizard president. Although it seems a bit crass to put the President of the United States on the spot, Joe Biden has been acting suspiciously for a long time. Many eagle-eyed people believe what we think as just signs of old age are actually signs of secretly being a reptile. It's not only his inability to balance himself, although he's taken a tumble quite a few times. What really makes him suspicious is how difficulty doing even mundane tasks, like putting on a jacket. And it's not like he's struggling to hold it. It's clear he doesn't even understand how to do it. There's also his ear shape. His lower lobe used to hang, but recently they're attached to his skin, as if glued on. Now that's creepy. Slim, shady behavior.
Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem.
There's a widespread belief that several celebrities gain success by surrendering their bodies to a highly intelligent reptilian species. The same theories surround Eminem, the god of rap. And it all came down to a head 10 years ago, when the rapper was being interviewed by ESPN and was promoting his recently released song Berserk. During the broadcast, thousands of viewers watched Eminem's eyes move out of focus as he stared directly at the cameras, unmoving. Then, for the next few seconds, Eminem remained lost, and his facial expressions became bizarre. Although a few chalked it up to nerves, many claim this is proof the reptilian alien hiding inside Eminem was struggling to fit in.
Helping produce that with you.
Y'all sure he not trolling? This is Eminem we're talking about, fam. Like, I'm mad I even missed this live during college football weekend. Y'all sure he wasn't trolling? Like, come on, man. Y'all, for me to believe this one, y'all, he has to say it out of his mouth, or it has to come out some kind of other way. But when it comes to Eminem, I can't tell whether or not he's trolling or not.
Well, Marshall, when you did that?
Yeah, sorry.
Reptilian glitch. Carla Rublar, a former minister of Chile, was seen acting erratically in one clip that's now going viral. During a routine interview, Rublar appeared restless and stood up straight, as if she was trying her best to be present. But that's not what tipped a few people off. Just as thousands of viewers watched the camera zoom in on Rublar's face, her eyes grew wide. Her pupils suddenly changed shape, and right in front of thousands of witnesses, Rublar's eyes phased into reptilian slits. It happened for just a split second, but it was enough to convince most. Although Rublar's spokesperson later tried to say it was a glitch on the TV, the channel denied that, prompting more suspicion. Impopster. If there's one person on Earth we thought we could trust, it'd be the Pope, but now we're seeing something that's raising a lot of questions. For a while, some conspiracy theorists have been suspicious about the Pope. They believe the Pope is actually a reptilian creature, donning a full-body human mask. But of course, nobody believed them. But here, the Pope is evidently trying to scratch his nose, but ends up accidentally tugging on a silicone-like mask. This is all the proof we need. Even if we assume this is just the Pope's skin, you can't say he's human. Nobody's skin literally snaps back like that. But if we have lizards running the world, it explains everything. Backyardigan.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard.
A few months ago, 911 responders received a frantic call made by a man who was sure there was some sort of alien creature resting in his backyard. At first, the responder thought she was being pranked, so she almost cut the call. But the man implored her to send officers and insisted it wasn't a joke. When cops arrived at the scene, they noticed nothing unusual. But the homeowner happily handed off the recording made by a CCTV positioned over his backyard. The creature was 8 feet tall, with weird disjointed hands and long arms and 3 eyes. It hunched over a spot, clearly exhausted. But in the back, something spooked the creature, so it took off.
Got mouth. They're tiny eyes and they're not human. They're 100% not human.
A reptile's gaze. The former White House press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, recently came under fire, but not for the reasons you'd think. Just as she sat at a G20 meeting, a camera panned at her and captured this. Her gaze toward the audience suddenly transformed into a slit-like entrance, her eyes completely taking on the form of a reptile's eyes. Now, I know it's easy to chalk this up to a camera glitch, but if you focus a little bit, you'll see the effect lasts longer than it should have. The second she turns her head, her eyes leer in the opposite direction, something even a glitch wouldn't have been able to show. Oof! Reptiles in the administration? Explains a lot. Trinidad's secret. It'd be one thing to see shifting eyes once. Maybe the camera truly did malfunction. But this to happen to a person multiple times? That's your cue to believe that some people might just be alien overlords trying to mesh in with the humans. Like Nicki Minaj, whose eyes are repeatedly attracting attention because they just don't seem right. Initially, a few fans.
If it was Nicki Minaj, that would explain like all the different cadences and voices that she go in and out of when she's rapping. I think she calls it Roman or Rome, whatever it is. Yeah, that would make sense, bro. You ever hear the voice change with her, man? Sometimes it's like unreal, just how good she's able to weave in and out of different voices and stuff like that. It's just crazy.
Assume this was just her wearing lens, but on numerous occasions when Nicki herself claimed she wasn't, her eyes repeatedly changed colors. And that's not all. An old video of Nicki surfaced recently, and keen-eyed observers quickly noticed her hands had oddly pointed joints with fanged edges. A bad fit. Who says reptilian overlords haven't already taken over? Maybe they stand in line with the administration, blending in to the best of their ability. But sometimes their attempts to fit in makes them stand out more. One such woman was recently recorded in the back, and something about her just doesn't seem right. As the people around her casually blended in, this woman kept peering at the side, acting nervously. Maybe it was her nerves. but she displays some sort of a lag in laughing, as if she's just jumping in on a whim. She acted as if her own eyes were disturbing her, which is a wild theory, but some conspiracists believe this is proof she's an extraterrestrial person. Alien experiments. In the early 1950s, reporters got wind of an alien creature descending on Earth, but nothing came of it, so they left it alone. Until decades later, an anonymous whistleblower from Area 51 released this video, confirming the existence of aliens and their interaction with us. This alien creature supposedly appeared somewhere in 1950 and was immediately apprehended by scientists working at Area 51. They conducted tests, examined its body, and deduced the alien was alive. But not for long. Although the video gets quite blurry, you can see the alien moving its mouth, which means it probably passed in captivity. The video didn't reveal much, but it's enough to put the government on the spot, don't you think? Home sweet home. A man flew out to his parents living in the countryside and decided to revisit the fields where he grew up. As he inspected the crops, he noticed something moving in the middle of the field. Initially, he believed it was just an animal trying to get food, and since he'd grown up on a farm, he was ready to handle it, until this popped out. Right in the middle, a short creature with an elongated gray face appeared. Despite having a humanoid body, the creature was clearly something unknown, possibly an alien living out in the fields. Not knowing it would be unexpectedly caught on camera, the creature quickly ducked and disappeared as the man got closer. Giant mystery.
There's a person standing there. No, it's not!
What if giants always existed, but just hide in unreachable places? A year ago, a driver crossing mountains in British Columbia captured something standing on the top. Now, while he initially assumed it could be a human, let's just do the math here. Even if it's a normal person standing at a top, they wouldn't appear that big.
There's a person standing there. No, it's not! Dude, have you seen what I've seen right now?
Plus, many locals say that part of the mountains...
I see y'all can't keep the camera still. Is that it irking anybody else but me? If it is, my bad. I apologize, y'all. But that was irking. It was like up, then down, then up. Like, bro, keep it focused. If anything, zoom in.
Is inaccessible, even for the most skilled climbers. And this is where it all gets muddled. There's a theory that an unknown alien species exists, one that towers over everyone. People believe this alien is watching over us, ready to take over when everything hits the fan. Alien abduction. We've all heard of alien abductions, but have you ever seen it happening? Two friends were walking in a forest clearing when all of a sudden, one of them simply vanished into thin air. His friend was clearly shocked. He looked around confused, not understanding what had happened. But the second he realized, he took off, not even wanting to see if his friend would return. A few hours later, the first friend suddenly landed on the ground, looking really disheveled and in a state of panic. He struggled to get on his feet, but eventually went away. If we slow-mo a little here, you can see some sort of a light pillar. So the man really did go up. Shape-shifting alien. A couple of years ago, a man kept complaining about weird thudding sounds coming from his roof, but every time he went out to investigate, he found nothing. Since it always happened at a fixed time, he decided to wait out whatever was causing havoc on his roof and sat out in his backyard, his phone positioned ready. Out of nowhere, he captured a creature carefully trying to make its way on his roof. The sudden appearance of the homeowner spooked the alien so much it remained standing for a solid few seconds before realizing its existence was in danger and hurriedly scuttled over the roof. The homeowner tried to follow to the other side, but was met with nothing. Tree chump. A Russian hiker lost his way and found himself in the middle of nowhere with withering trees surrounding him. As he tried to find a way out, he could make some sort of a faint shuffling noise from a corner, as if some animal was trying its best to sneakily make its way through. Following the sound, the Russian hiker focused his camera and saw two glowing glints in the middle of a tree. As he focused, he found himself facing a tiny creature, but one that clearly didn't belong to Earth. It seemed to be observing him from a safe distance, but its presence naturally spooked the man, so he made a run for it. Continental Nightmare. 3 years ago, a nationwide panic kept Indian farmers on alert as reports emerged of a weird alien-like creature scuttling through the fields and tackling unsuspecting people. It was believed the creature originated from the Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Naturally, people were freaking out, but the creature was also seen closer to home. An appearance somewhere in Nevada prompted a resident to record this abhorrent creature. Almost immediately, you know this isn't a deformed animal or one with some sort of mutation. Many believe this creature is actually an alien animal belonging to families of aliens living in human disguise around the world. Of course, this is just a wild theory, but with how things have been going so far... Resting demon. An anonymous man released the video of an alien creature resting on the floor. Despite the cameraman being hidden, the creature immediately recognized it was being filmed and quickly got up, trying its best to drag its body upward.
Every time I see this clip, he stand up and be staggering like he just had a few too many to drink. That's what he's stand like, man. Like, you ever seen one of your like drunk uncles or something like that you know shouldn't be drinking? By the time you arrive to the cookout, he's done had too many already in the cookout just getting started. That's what this thing looked like.
It's being filmed and quickly got up, trying its best to drag its body upward. The alien's creature's eyes glowed with anger as it quickly moved ahead. The video cut short, so we don't really know what happened, whether the man was apprehended or if the creature and the man even made it through. A few viewers believe the creature was actually living its life dressed as a human, but its suit malfunctioned and it was forced to chase after the man so he could fashion a new hyper-realistic suit. Crossing boundaries. A group of friends camping out in the woods decided to explore and eventually entered forbidden territory. In the middle of the dense forest, they came across some sort of gray creature silently passing through. Initially, it looked like a pale, sickly human, but when they focused their flashlight on them, they realized the creature had a grayish skin, tall legs, and elongated arms. Its unusually thin body suggested it wasn't just some person trying to pull a prank. Before the group could comprehend what was going on, they started hearing helicopter sounds, so they quickly ran away. Once the video was uploaded, many wondered if they'd unknowingly stepped into some secret alien base. Devil's Landing. A Virginian man suspected something fishy was going on in the forest behind his house, so he decided to lay low and record, but unexpectedly captured something out of this world. A UFO hovering over the grass, clearly seeking a parking spot. Before the shock of seeing a UFO could even wear off, it opened up and out emerged a grayish figure. Although it's difficult to make out from a distance, you can see a slight humanoid outline. The creature quickly disappeared behind some bushes. Moments later, an orb-like object went inside the UFO and it took off. The man believes the alien morphed into one of us and sent its orb drone laced with intel back to its planet. Camping's End. If you ever camp out in the woods, just try not to explore much or you might run into an alien. This happened to one man who unexpectedly encountered a lanky creature in a corner. Although the man tried his best to remain unseen, the creature immediately sensed his presence. Its head turned and stared right at the man, who started to think of an escape strategy. And that's when a second head popped up, this time belonging to a second alien, which seemed to already know about the man. Thankfully, this didn't go on for much long, since the man quickly shut off his camera and returned to camp. Forest
That's what I'm saying. Don't think we sneaking up on them. No way whatsoever. They got a bead on us. Probably got a good drop on us. by now. You know, they're so far ahead and several steps ahead of us that it's unbelievable.
Weller.
That is a freaking UFO.
Here's a video that will blow your mind, filmed by a man who claims to have met aliens and that he was almost taken by them. You can clearly see some sort of an alien aircraft hovering on the ground directly above him. In a state of panic, the man starts running and ends up hiding in a sunken patch on the ground, clearly hoping he wouldn't be caught. But his wish didn't come true. In the distance, the leaves rustled, announcing the presence of another. And then emerged this alien creature, tall and lanky with a sleek skin. Its expressionless face holding nothing but two large black beady eyes, contemplating taking the man, but thankfully decided to go away. A walk in the park. Two UFO enthusiasts decided to check out the site of an alleged alien spaceship sighting and ended up meeting one extraterrestrial creature. As the duo hid out in the woods waiting patiently, they saw a small humanoid creature that was even dressed up. It seemed this alien creature had sensed their presence, but couldn't really figure out what was going on or where they were. It was obvious the alien didn't feel safe, so it took a thorough look around and hurried away into the dense woods. Most remarked how its attire meant it was probably a soldier of its species sent to Earth to collect intel. Bush baby. Now that aliens and reptilian creatures have openly started infiltrating Earth, you might want to keep an eye on your neighbors. Possible one of them's unknowingly harboring an alien. This was filmed somewhere in China by a man who repeatedly saw something scuttling across his backyard, but was never able to get a good look. Eventually, he positioned a motion sensor camera, and he was able to pick up some movement coming from one corner. Although you really have to focus to look, you can make out a face from behind a leaf. The creature has a humanoid face, but its behavior is obviously creepy. After seeing the footage, the man inspected his backyard, but found no one. The last man standing. I don't know why aliens keep picking forests to live in. Maybe the trees give them seclusion, but it's seriously getting out of hand. As a drone whizzed through a forest, the operator stopped suddenly when he realized there was something standing among the trees, almost 8 feet tall, with an impossibly thin body. The alien creature was crawling over some logs. The drone operator believes the alien might have gotten hurt after its spaceship crashed and eventually got stranded in the forest. After a few seconds of struggling, the alien creature caught wind of the drone and hurriedly crawled away. Creepy mimicry.
What are your friends saying when they see you on TV?
I don't know right now.
While campaigning for a Senate seat in 2012, Barry Hinckley was being interviewed along with his son Hudson when reporters noticed the duo were acting unusually strange. As interviewers asked Hudson about his father's campaign, the little boy started answering, only for Barry to mouth the same words at the exact same time as his son. At first,
have y'all noticed the trend as well? Why is it always like politicians and high-ranking officials? You're seeing that a pretty good bit, right? I just wanted y'all to just, because me, I'm going to store that in my brain somewhere, in a file in my brain somewhere. And I want you to do the same. That way you can start paying a little bit more attention, because I'm seeing that a lot.
First, everyone just assumed the duo were reading off a teleprompter. But why would Barry step in? This unfurled a crazy theory that Barry was actually controlling his son's word through some secret technique, suggesting that he was blessed with superhuman abilities or belonged to a secret alien race. With how everything's been going, it really does seem possible.
I want to be a good senator.
Really?
A cry for help.
Woman who was removed from a Dallas flight after an outburst.
Aboard an American Airlines flight, a female passenger caused plane-wide panic as she repeatedly asked to be taken off the flight.
Stop the plane! Stop the plane!
Pointing at the back row, the woman insisted that one passenger aboard was not real.
back there is not real.
According to witnesses, the woman claimed one passenger was actually a reptilian creature in disguise and that the woman somehow sensed the truth. But nobody was taking her seriously. She was later identified as Tiffany Gomez, an internet personality. But when interviewed, Gomez talked around the incident.
Had an altercation and I felt very strongly that I needed to get off the plane.
Many believe her unwillingness to discuss the incident is because undercover agents who know about reptilian creatures gave her a visit, and that she's staying quiet to keep herself safe.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Alien possession. As two friends parted ways to head back home, one of them noticed something unusual and started following his friend. All of a sudden, the first man tackled the second, forcing him to the ground. Confused, his friend appeared irate, but the man didn't back down and appeared to pull something out. Shockingly, he peeled out a shadow shaped exactly like his friend and shook it away. The entire scene was captured by a nearby CCTV. When the video went viral, many alien believers suggested the man might have unknowingly been possessed by some extraterrestrial species and was thankfully saved by his friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Crystal Deep. A group of teenagers exploring a stalagmite cave in Mexico stumbled upon an alien-like creature. If that wasn't shocking enough, the area where they found it surprisingly had patches of grass, leading them to believe they had actually wandered into a hidden magical realm. Perhaps the creature cultivated the grass itself as a source of nourishment. Despite being cooped up in the cave, the creature seemed quite healthy, but it might need to get out more, because it couldn't even sense the teens hiding just meters away. The smart teens remained hidden for a while, not wanting to fight the alien. They later got out once the coast was clear, but never found the place again. A whirlwind nightmare. When you're deep underground searching for an exit, the last thing you expect to encounter is an alien creature. A few men ventured down a shadowy path, following a cave's opening, descending hundreds of meters below the surface. There, they found this bizarre gray creature, seemingly resting against what appeared to be an ancient well. Armed with only a dim flashlight, their view was limited, but the sight was unsettling enough. And if that wasn't creepy enough, just listen to the bizarre whirring noises coming from the creature. Yep. That's the kind of sound that turns your dreams into nightmares. Wrapped alien.
Sound like somebody who got like a bad snoring habit at night. You know what I mean? That's what that sounded like. It's still eerie though. I don't like the way it sounds.
A group of cave raiders took a winding path down a cave and soon entered a clearing. There, lying flat on a rock, was an alien creature. Initially thinking it was a joke, the raiders moved closer, only to realize the creature was very much real and alive, much to their shock. It looked like the alien had hidden in the cave after its UFO crashed somewhere nearby. Still weak from the ordeal, it was caught off guard by the raiders. The creature didn't have enough energy to stand or confront the raiders, who remain unnamed and have kept the cave's location secret. Quebec's mystery. A few years back, a YouTuber shared a video that claimed to show an alien that had landed in Quebec, Canada. The tale goes that a snowmobiler found the alien, which was no longer alive, and took some photos for himself before alerting the authorities. But, as often happens with such mysterious events, soon after the authorities got there, the alien mysteriously disappeared, and the authorities didn't even spill a word about their findings. While the video does provide some proof, it still leaves us with big questions. What kind of alien was it? And where could it be now? EBE. A few decades ago, a couple of anonymous explorers found a gray alien in an undisclosed location in the US. Before they could decide what to make of it, authorities got wind of the situation and confiscated the alien. Years later, this video surfaced showing the same gray alien, but it's patched up to a machine. Maybe it's being used as a testing subject by the government. It's clear the extraterrestrial creature was in distress and just wanted out. A worker who remains out of the frame was supposedly trying to calm the alien down, but the video ends at that moment. Brazil's nightmare. We talk about aliens living with us, but who knows what else is out there? In October 2011, a man in Brazil was woken up at night because of his dog repeatedly warning. Although he ignored it then, he checked out his backyard the next morning and found this. A creepy creature with large beady eyes, unusually short arms, a sickly thin body, and a mouth that was wide open, almost as if frozen in a state of shock and horror. The man believes this might be an alien creature that tried to escape something, but that's what makes this even creepier. If such aliens are showing up lifeless on your back door, what kind of creature is driving them off? Peruvian Pelicaris. Just a few months ago, one picture took the internet by storm. It showed a glowing alien-like creature standing in the middle of nowhere. The picture was reportedly taken in Peru, so the creature was called the Pelicaris, or the face peeler. For a while, everything was quiet. Most people believed it was just a fake picture, but then a video emerged showing the same area. In it, there was some sort of fire in the woods. But if you take a closer look, it's clearly a creature glowing from all angles. Many locals believe this is the Pelicaris, ready to feast on more humans, or even disguise as them. But this glowing creature thankfully disappeared soon. A visit to Mexico. A couple of weeks ago, an alien body was discovered lying somewhere in the forest in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. After its video went viral, many viewers commented that this alien arrived a few years ago and successfully disguised as a human to live out its days. But
Mexico might be a base. It might have a base for them somewhere around there. We might need to figure it out. We done heard from scientists that presented us with stuff that we haven't really identified if they are alien or not. I don't even know how we do that, but we have that. We have cases. We have a lot of different cases surrounding Mexico, so there may be a base somewhere in that vicinity.
just as it tried to go back home, his UFO failed to launch, and he passed away stuck in the forest. That's crazy enough, but here's yet another thing that's suspicious. When UFO enthusiasts ventured to the area, they found nothing. Since we know the government really loves vanishing such things, it's possible they were involved in this mystery too. Unwanted contact.
After 45 years of keeping it a secret from his own family, he's now ready to tell the story of the event that would change his life forever.
In early 2019, Calvin Parker wrote an autobiography and surprised even his own family with the revelation that he had contact with aliens. According to Parker, this all happened roughly 45 years ago in 1973, when he went fishing with Charles Hickson, who was then 42 years old. The duo spent the entire day over the Pascagoula River in Mississippi and heard the slight buzz or hum of something just as they were returning. All of a sudden, the sky lit up in blue, and they all fell to the ground, unable to move. As horror took over, 3 creatures with slit-like mouths appeared and started to probe them. The horrifying ordeal took hours, but once they returned, nobody believed them. Martian intruder. Aliens are becoming braver and braver by the day. There's no saying what could happen when they finally show themselves. A man was recording a video of his cat to show to his friends. As he pet the cat, it suddenly became restless and began hissing at the window. Seconds later, an alien head bobs up, creepily keeping an eye on the man. Seeing it all happen on camera, the man whipped his head, but the alien ducked out of view. Unwelcome visitor. A man kept getting alerts about someone's presence in his home through his motion sensor camera, so he finally decided to review the footage. It revealed a gray humanoid creature silently tiptoeing towards the man's house. Although the man was initially sure it was just an intruder, the minute he realized how weirdly the creature was walking, he knew he was dealing with something outworldly. His camera couldn't really capture beyond this. So who knows where this alien went? Or if it even left. It might still be lurking in the basement. Raid gone wrong. In 2019, hundreds of people planned to storm and raid Area 51, but nobody got in, or did they? One brave man somehow made it past the guards and snuck into the facility. After exploring aimlessly for a while, he came across a pitch-black corridor. He tried to find his way around, but struggled, and that's when an alien creature suddenly appeared from the shadows, staring out from behind an open door. The sight was so sudden, it spooked the man, and he hurriedly ran away. While he did make it out, the man swore he'd never return. Unwanted house sitter.
Shoot! Just get out of the house!
In 2011, Thomas Collins decided to inspect his house with a friend after hearing weird sounds coming from his basement. He was expecting to find some sort of rat, maybe even a rabid raccoon, so he went in cautiously. Just as Collins and his friend descended into the dark basement, they heard a slight movement, and perfectly on cue, like a horror movie, a whitish head stuck out from a corner.
Shoot! Just get out of the house!
Startled by its appearance, the duo rushed out. Collins later returned in the morning, but there was nothing there. All he had left was the video that proved that something was there. Alien possession. A man decided to surprise his friend living in another state and flew out to meet him. But before he could even reach his house, he noticed something weird emerging from the woods that connected to his friend's backyard. To his horror, a ghoulish figure with eerily long legs crawling toward him. The shocking part, it was clearly his friend, but acting completely deranged and moving in ways he wouldn't have ever thought possible. He tried.
Nah, that wouldn't be my friend no more, bro. You crawling out of the woods like that, no shirt on, fam? Nah, we're not friends no more.
Tried to talk down to his friend, but he seemed completely out of it.
Buddy, how you doing?
Later, when he uploaded the video, many commented that his friend might have been abducted by aliens or experimented on, causing his unhinged behavior. Open discussion. Almost a decade ago, a picture brought the residents of South Carolina on the edge of their seats.
Bishopville's mythical beast seems to be popping up again.
It showed a giant reptilian creature towering some 7 to 8 feet, with an unusual humanoid body. And despite having humanoid features, it was clearly not of this world, and thus was dubbed the Lizard Man. For a while, discussions about the Lizard Man faded, but when this video appeared, something remarkably similar to the Lizard Man scurrying through the trees. The creature was spotted in the same area. So now many believe they finally have the proof of its existence.